Hey guys, this is Naveen here. Welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs. So very interesting interview question, and these kind of graphs you can see in your applications as well. Somebody asked me this question that we have to automate this. In fact, we have already automated this graph where we were moving to each and every date and we were picking the data from the tooltip. This graph was tough, but we actually solved it. And here if you see, there is one more SVG graph is available, and the problem with this SVG graph is that there is no inner SVG elements are available under the main SVG, so that you have to move your you have to move to the specific element one by one with the help of offsets. So quite tricky, and let's see how to solve it. So this is a very good interview question, and then right click on it, let's inspect it, let's try to solve it. So if you see this properly, because if you start, let's see, this is the SVG element is available. Under this SVG, we don't have any specific rectangle or rect graph is available. You can see there is simple def, and then path is also showing the entire bar. But as such, we don't have any other thing so that we can collect all the child SVG elements. See, we don't have that. Okay, see, and then SVG element is somewhere over here. It's over. But if you see the first graph was easy for me to handle it. That's why we quickly solved it, because under this particular G, you can see that we have number of rects graph are available. So I can collect all these rect vector SVG elements, and then I can use the driver.find element, and then I can easily solve this problem. But the problem with the second graph is that we don't have any inner SVG elements are available. We have only one SVG element, which is starting from here, and some def or something clip path or something like this. So how will you do that? So here we have to use the concept of actions class, where we have to move to the specific element by using the X and Y offset. So let's see how to do that. So first, see this is the complete SVG element. What exactly I'm going to do that? Okay, I'm going to create one, the top leftmost X coordinate and the Y coordinate. So Y is representing the height and X is representing the width of this particular graph. So let's see how to do that. So I'm going to create first of all that one X path for this SVG. So here we can quickly use this class, where class is equal to this one, and then this is the SVG X path. Now I'm pretty much sure you all are comfortable with the XVG stuff, with the XVG X path and everything. So I'm going to write, okay, this is my local name, which is equal to SVG, and which is equal to this one SVG, and then I'm going to write one and class is equal to this. So this is representing 3. So this is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. So we have to go to the second one. So I'll do one thing, I'll store in a capture group in my X path. And then this is my second index graph that I'll be going back. Okay, so this is my graph. So I'll do one thing. I'm going to create a single web element, because only one SVG is available. So I'm going to write driver.find element by.xpath and xpath of this. And let's see, I'm storing in a web element here like this. Okay, and import your web element. Now see this carefully. For example, I have this particular SVG element, right? So this is somewhere middle of the element. So if I go in the back direction, right, on the horizontal axis, and this is a width direction over here, like then the y axis over here. So this is my x axis and this is my y axis over here like this. So let's say I'm here at the middle of the element, and then I have to go in the left direction. So what exactly I have to do? I have to use one class that is called actions class. So let's see, action act is equal to new actions, and then I'm going to pass the driver here. Slightly complex scenario, guys, not slightly, in fact it is very complex. And then I'm writing move to element, where exactly your target element, where exactly you want to go. So I want to go to this particular element, so I'm going to pass this target element LE, but where exactly in this particular LE? So this is the entire SVG element that we are representing. See, can you see this entire box? So we have to start from the beginning, from here, 20th March 2020, and up to here like this. We have to keep moving one by one like this. So how will you do that? So it means we have to go to the top leftmost position of this element of this graph. So in that case, I have to use this method, move to element. Otherwise, it will just move to the middle of the element. If you don't use X and Y offset, it will just go to the middle of the element. So what should I do in this case? I have to write a for loop, but before that I have to get its top left X coordinate and top left Y coordinate on the basis of its height and width. So I'll do one thing from this particular element, how to capture it. So element dot, there is a method, get size method is available. And from this get size, I'm going to write get its height over here. And then I'll divide this particular height divided by 2, right? And then I'm going to write, okay, let's put another bracket over here, okay, divided by 2, and then I'm going to deduct this by this element dot again get size minus dot get height. So I'll be capturing its height median over here like this. So I'll simple write, okay, let's see, this is my get top left Y position, or okay, like this. And then I'm going to create, so this Y position could be anything. It means if you come over here, see, this is also kind of a position. So in this position, where exactly you want to go? So this is a height. You can see this is a height. So I want to go to the specific position. So I'll do one thing that, okay, just by deriving this formula, let's see, height is equal to 10, 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5, 5 minus 10 is equal to minus 5. So if you see this move to element method, it's saying the Y offset element in the view center point, a negative value means an offset above the point. It means if you go in the upward direction, that is a negative point, and go in the below direction, I mean the lower direction, and that is your positive point. So it really doesn't matter. The Y coordinate really doesn't matter for that particular position, but matter here is that the X position, get top left X position. So I have to calculate its width here. Okay, so let's calculate its width divided by 2, and then again I'm going to get the width here like this. So for example, let's see what if the complete width for this entire element, for this entire SVG element, the complete width, and go to its top left position on the basis of that. So divided by 2, for example, let's see, 500 divided by 2, that will be 250 minus 500, that will be minus 250 X coordinate. So it means it will start extreme left from the top, or extreme position from the left top position. So that is what you have to calculate. So this will behave my X and Y offset over here. So this is my X offset, and then this will be my Y offset here like this, that I have to move to this particular element. Okay, and then we have to write dot perform here. But again, we have to do what? We have to start a for loop. So I'll start a for loop. Integer I is equal to, for example, let's see 0, and I simple write I less than 50. Up to 50 times we have to keep moving, and then I plus plus. And this is your starting bracket, and this is your ending bracket over here. For example, like this. So when you move, what will happen when you move there? So when you move there, then you have to see this tooltip is there, right? So I'm going to inspect, and then I have to capture this data. 11th May test taken positive, and positive percentage and all such things. So right click on it, go to inspect, and here you can see that it's kind of a table here, right? So here it's not an SVG element, it's a kind of table, where table is having T body and number of rows are available, and then see positive test is there, and then another row is there, then positive percentage, and then the percentage of positive numbers, like that it's coming. So I can directly apply on table and T body, where class is equal to this. So I'll do one thing, I'm going to create an XPath where @class for the table is this, and then go to its body here. So it's representing, you can see it's representing a tooltip there. And then from this T body, I don't want to go to its individual rows. From this T body, whatever the text is available right in this body, just capture the text. So I'll do one thing, I'll just capture the entire text from here. So I'll be writing driver.findElement by .xpath, because see here I'm moving to that specific element, then the tooltip will be visible, and then from this tooltip, what you want from this tooltip, you give me the text, get text method, I'll be using it, and then I'll store let's see, this is my data, that is actually that data that I want to print it on the console, or you can capture in some collection or whatever. Okay, so this is the thing, but the here is that it will just move 50 times, because I'm writing, let's see, 0, and then here I'm writing the 50 times over here, and then I'll do one thing, get top left X position, and then I'm going to append with I over here. so that it will keep moving. First time I equal to 0. So this is the get top left position. And then +1 I'll be adding because next time I plus, right? So next one means, let's see, this is minus 350. Then like this, 349, then 348 minus, then 347. Like this, it will be keep moving over here like this. But 50 times. Because this 50 depends that the end date. This is the end date, that is 23rd September or whatever the current date is. What the current date is 25th. So the data is actually available till 24th September actually. Minus 1 date, right? Obviously today's data is not published yet. So this is the hardcoded value. We will try to remove it later, but let's see this is actually working or not. So run as Java application. Scenario is complex, but the code is very less. So here you can see, oh nice. Can you see that? The data is actually moving. The graph is actually moving through Selenium, and that it will keep capturing the data 50 times, and the program is over. It means up to 2nd May it captured, you can see. And then it actually started from the day 24th September, something like this. So 23rd March, something like this, it got started. So I'll do one thing, that this is the hardcoded value. Now let's see, I'm writing this is up to 200. So let's run it again, that is really capturing or not up to 200. Okay, so yeah, see, it is up to 200 times it will move. And then don't forget to add, see, you can see the data over here like this. You can see the data is coming 11th, 17th, May, 19th, 20th, 25th, like that. Exactly same data, it's moving and getting printed on the console. So 200 times it will be there, but I have to stop it up to here, that, you know, the current date -1. So I have to remove this hard-coded value. So I can do one thing, I can utilize, I can use some date util methods, which is inbuilt method. So I know that what is the starting point, right? So I'll do some calculation, for example, here. So let's see, I'm going to create one string that is my start_date, which is equal to what? So the starting point is this. COVID started in 2020, and 20th March 2020 the data is available. You can see the test taken and everything. Positive test 24, positive percentage 2.1%. So 20th March 2020, let's see, 1 year, not COVID started actually. 20th March, the last data is available. The starting point is available. So I'll do one thing. Let's see, this is my 20th March. So I'll be writing a date format like this, 03 MMDDYY. I'll be writing it. Sorry, DDMMYY. I'll be writing it 2020. Okay, this is my starting date. And then what will be your end date? Because end date we have to calculate on the basis of the current date. So I'll do one thing, that first of all, that I have to, this is my string, I have to get one date format. So you have to write simple date format method. I mean date format class that you have to use. And let's see, this is my SDF object pointing to this one. So you can define one, see, this simple date format object you can create, and you can define a format here, a pattern here. So pattern that I'm going to define, that I want pattern DD and then MM and then a small y 4 times. This is the format, and this is the pattern that I want. Okay. And then I'm going to create the current date also. I get it, right? The current today's date. And then I'll be doing a -1 over there. So I'll be writing, let's see, date a D1, or let's say, first of all, let's see, I'm writing date D1 is equal to new date. Okay, this current date class object that you create. And first of all, that start date, I have to convert that into this one. So start date, I'll be using it, and then import your date, okay, from the java.util package. And then from this particular SDF, what you can do is that, okay, this date you have to actually capture from the java.util package, yeah, which is fine. And start date that we have already taken, and I think looks good, which is DDMMYY. Okay, and then I'm going to write SDF dot, I'm going to parse it, and whatever the start date that you have captured, that you can going to use it over here. Okay, you don't need this line right now, just forget about it. So this is the SDF.parse and start date that I have used. And then this guy will give you what? The parse method, first of all, throws a declaration. and this parts method will give you one date object. So I'm going to store inside the date object. Let's see, date d1 over here like this. Okay, and then I want the current date, so I'm going to create the object of date class, which will give you the current date class, current date like this. Okay, so date d2 is equal to a new date that I have written. Then I want to capture that we started from here, right? 20th March to 24th September, somewhere we have to capture it up to 24th September. So I have already calculated this. You can see 20th March to 24th September. It is around 553 days of data that I want. It means 553 times I have to write a loop, but I cannot hard code the value. So that's why I have to get the difference between the end date and the start date. It means current date minus the start date. So what exactly I can do is that I can write one long that difference in days. I can write it over here, which is equal to, I can use one time util dot you can use time util or time unit, actually, sorry, it's time unit dot in milliseconds that you can write dot 2 days you can write it. And there are other various ways also, guys, to get the difference, total number of days between two dates that I'm going to capture. So I'm going to write d2 dot that is your get time, right, minus d1 dot get time. Okay, these are the two methods that I'm going to use, and this will give you the different days over here. So instead of 200, I'll be writing this one. Okay, so like this you can write it. So it will start from, let's see, 553, it will give it to you, but I have to start my loop from 0 to less than 553, not equal to, because it will calculate the last date also, but the last date, that is the data, is not available for the 24th September. Okay, so, or 24th September, sorry, today is 25th September, date I don't want to include, so that's why I'm not writing less than equal to here. Okay, so now I have removed the hardcode value, and let's see it is really working or not. So let's see, and here you can see that it started, the graph is started here, and then it will go up to the last, whatever the last date element is there. Okay, this up to the 24th September it will go, and you can see it will keep capturing the data, and it is moving. See, just keep capturing the data and moving to the graph one by one over here like this. So you have to keep adding I over here. If you see the logic, see, you have to keep adding the I over here, because every time I will be increased by 1. That's why we have to move the mouse and move to the specific next element by 1. So like that. Okay, one by one, date by date, we have to keep moving over there. And the time in difference will give you around 553 days. So it will be running from 0 to less than 553 days. So see, it is going to that particular data, each and every curve. And see, here you can see that and then it will go to the peak position also. See, it is going to the peak position and then again drop like this. Perfect. So see, don't move your mouse, otherwise it might disturb the coordinate or it might disturb the entire thing. Anyways, so this is the perfect solution for this. You guys can write it, and then this is a solution for this. Okay, but let's say I'm giving you an assignment. Your assignment is that you have to pass the date. For example, let's see, on 22nd February 2021, you have to give me total number of tests taken, positive test, and the positive percentage. That is what you have to capture. So you have to create a function where you have to pass the string date 22nd February, and then it should give you the data. So the formula and everything almost will remain same. You have to think about it mathematically. You have to solve this particular problem. It's such a nice interview question, and you have to think about it. So let's see, for example, I just simple pass that 20th September 2020, and then you have to return total number of tests taken, positive, and the positive percentage. So that function should return maybe an array or array list, which is having, or just print it on the console, but it should take one date over here, 20th September or whatever date. Okay, when you call that function, so it should immediately come over here and then get the data from the tooltip. This is what your assignment. You just try to do that, otherwise I'll show you in the next video. Okay, let's see who does that. You can you don't need to mail me, you just put it in the comment section your solution. I'll have a look. So that's all for this particular video. I hope you liked it, and then I hope you are liking this Selenium series, which is like Selenium interview question series, where we are handling some really complex things or some really interesting stuff with respect to UI test automation. Later on, we will see some other stuff as well. So if you have any questions which you want me to cover in the form of videos, feel free to tell me in the comment section. Definitely, I'll pick your question from there. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and God bless you all.